What is up, math superstars? In this edition of Mr. Peterson Presents, I'm bringing to you all you need to know about area and perimeter. So we're going to talk about perimeter first. So perimeter, this is the distance around a geometric figure. And so one way to find the perimeter is to add up all the side lengths of that figure there. So here we're given this example here. We have a rectangle. And we have two of our side lengths that are filled in. We have 6 centimeters and 12 centimeters. So to find the perimeter, let's go ahead and fill in the other two side lengths here. So we have 12 centimeters at the top. The bottom of our rectangle would also be 12 centimeters. And for 6 centimeters on the left-hand side, the right-hand side would also be 6 centimeters. So what we can do is we can go ahead and add these totals together. 12 centimeters plus 12 centimeters plus 6 centimeters plus 6 centimeters. When we add these together, this gives us the perimeter would be 36 centimeters, because all we did was 12 plus 12 is 24, 24 plus 6 is 30, 30 plus 6 gives us 36 centimeters. So dealing with perimeter and area, the label is also important. So if you just put the number, we don't know if that's in centimeters, feet, inches, miles, and so please add the label. So now we're given this second polygon here. So we're given some side lengths. We have everything in inches. We have 6 inches, 7 inches, and 8 inches. So the question is to find the perimeter is what we're talking about for this one. The perimeter would be 6 plus 8 plus 17. Everything is in inches. So our label is going to be inches. When we add these together, 6 plus 8 gives us 14. 14 plus 7 gives us 21. So our answer in inches, the perimeter of this triangle would be 21 inches. So now what we're doing is we're giving you the formal equation for finding perimeter here. So right here is this information. And this is good because what will happen is on things like the SOL test, you'll be given a formula sheet that you will see a bunch of times, and you can actually find the perimeter of the rectangle right on that sheet here. And so we have this rectangle, and we have our width is labeled as 10 millimeters, and our length is 16 millimeters. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the formula to solve for the perimeter here. So our formula here that we're going to use is P is equal to 2L plus 2W. Let's go ahead and fill in some things in our equation. So our perimeter would equal 2 times our length. L is the length, so 2 times 16 plus, and then we got to do 2 times our width right here is 10. And we can go ahead now, let's simplify to find the perimeter. So perimeter would be equal to 2 times 16 is 32, plus 2 times 10 gives us 20. So our perimeter, when we add these two together, it gives us 52 millimeters. So now on that handy dandy formula sheet, you're also given the perimeter equation for a square. So we know that a square, all the side lengths are being equal. And so our formula for this, we just need to figure out the perimeter of our square here. So in the information on your notes page, the perimeter would equal 4s. So what we can do is our perimeter would be 4 times one of the side lengths. So one of the side lengths is 4 meters. So it'd be 4 times 4. So our perimeter would be 16, and then we add our label would be in meters. So we have some examples of some keywords here that when given in word problems, you'll know to use the perimeter formulas here. And so we have things like fencing. Fencing goes around. So anything that goes around or the outside fencing. We're drawing an outline. We're putting a frame around a picture because that goes around the outside edges. Or we can add a border to something. We would use the perimeter formulas. So now we have the formula for finding out the area of a rectangle is what we're going to deal with. So on our handy dandy sheet, we're given the area would be length times width. And so area would be our length, and then the dot is times our width. And then what we can do is we're given our length here is 10 and our width is 5. So let's go ahead and fill in those values for length and width. So our area would be our length is 10 times our width is 5. And what we can do is when we simplify that, our area would be equal to 50. And then it's in centimeters. But since we multiplied centimeters times centimeters, we label this as centimeters squared, or to the power of 2. So we can read this as the area would be 50 centimeters squared. So now we're given the area of a square here, and so you're given some useful information. You'll see this one most likely on that formula sheet. Area would be equal to the side to the power of 2, or the side squared. You can also use it area equals side times side there. So we're going to focus just on this one, that area equals the side squared for our square. So our formula would be A equals S to the power of 2. We use one of our side lengths. So the area would be 6 squared. So 6, this comes out to 6 times 6. Just remember, we're not adding, we're multiplying. So our area would be 36, and we need to add a label. And so we have meters, and since we're dealing with squared units, it would be meters squared. And here we have some keywords here for when we use area. So it might actually say the word area, but things like covering. So you might see like a pool cover, any type of cover. We have carpeting would be the area, tile, curtains, the surface. And so anytime you deal with these keywords, we're using those area equations. So now let's talk about how we can figure out the area for triangles here. So we have some key information. So the letter B, when you see different triangles here, that refers to the base of our triangle. And when you refer to H, you guessed it, that is the height. And so for triangles, we know that triangles cover half of the area of different quadrilaterals here. So if I was going to do a diagonal in a square, what I do is I'm cutting that quadrilateral in half to make my triangle. So this is useful information here because we know that the area of, when we do squares and when we do rectangles, the area would be length times width. If we just need to figure out just this part of a triangle right here, we can do the triangle would be one half length times width. And so we figure out what the length times width is. We go ahead and divide that by 2, gives us the area of our triangle. We get that just because literally the triangle just is one half of the quadrilateral. So here we're given the equation area equals 1/2 base times height. This is the one that is found on the SOL formula sheet. So to recap, the B is the base, the H is the height. And so the base of the triangle, the base of our triangle can be any of its sides. And the height. The height is the distance from the base to the opposite angle. So now let's go ahead and try this out. So our formula, we're always just going to rewrite this. Area equals 1/2 base times height. So let's fill in some information here. So we have this triangle. Our base is right here at the bottom. So our base, let's go and label these. B would be equal to 10 meters. And this dotted line going up from the base to the opposite angle would be the height. So 6.5 meters would be the height. Let's go ahead and fill that now into our equation. So area equals 1/2. So we have 10 times 6.5. When we simplify that. 10 times 6.5 gives us 65. Times 1/2 gives us our area. So 65. So on your calculator, you're going to do 65 divided by 2. Gives us our area of 32.5. And then we're dealing with meters. And anytime that we have this area formula, it's in meters squared.